evening, and welcome again to the Whiskey Cowboy Live. Today's date is August 8th, 2023. It is Tuesday. I hope everyone's week has started out well. It's been a rainy week here. It's like got a reprieve from the rain last week. And this week we're back at it again. So much for my yard work. I needed more yard work to get done. If you see me scratching tonight, no, I am not cracked or speeded out. I had after dinner, I decided to just give my beard just a little bit of a trim. You know how that goes, so I got little hairs everywhere. Those who are joining the show, feel free to say hello. If you are new to the show, let us know where you're calling in from. Calling in. Nobody's called in. Going to be a long show. Shows at the end of the day are always interesting. Oh, and if you did want to call in, you can call in on the live studio line at 1-978-806-0672. It's 1-978-806-0672. Zoom room of the same number minus the 1 is much better. Laurel says, good evening. Good evening, Laurel. Al's joining us. Hey, brother, how you doing? I'm doing fine. Warm? Man, we were getting cool nights, but today it's been pouring out there, and the humidity is through the roof again. I'll go ahead and ask everybody how my volume levels are. They should be okay. Hey, Karen. Evening. It's been a while since I've been able to join. Glad to be on here. Well, welcome again. Don't remember the name new on YouTube, Karen. So was the last time that you were joining the show, was it still running on Facebook? Al says the rain has finally stopped here. We saw the sun today. Volume is spot on. Fantastic. Yeah, I like to about max it down on people's ends because you can turn it down, and that's fine. But sometimes you come in too low in volume and you can't turn it up. Karen says yes. Yeah, see? Good job. Well, welcome back over to YouTube. You'll see it's just as easy, if not easier here. You've probably noticed already that the show looks different than it did over on Facebook. And in fact, on Facebook, the last time that you were on the show, I wasn't even running a camera. I started that back up on YouTube. And if you had not heard, I am hopefully within the next couple months, I will be moving into a new studio. The studio now is an audio-only studio that I'm kind of make work for video. But in a couple months, hopefully I have a new camera dedicated to it, and I will actually have the classic, hopefully maybe some stuff on the wall. I don't know what I'm going to do. A regular video studio to run, and then I can do my guitar videos and stuff like that over there. So Karen says this is much better. Well, thank you. Those who came over with me, we had probably about 3 shows before we tweaked it in where it was what at least I thought was acceptable. The camera was in the wrong place, had moon face. My face will get all warped and not right. So now we've got the right camera distance for the camera. But like I said, hopefully in a couple months, we'll have a dedicated new camera. I'm using one of my action cams right now as the live streamer. It's working, but we can do better. We can do better. Welcome to the show, Donna.
Hey, how you doing?
Hot.
Yeah. Boy, I tell you, we got in the last 2 days, we've got 2.5 inches of rain, and I mean, it is sticky out there.
Yeah, that welcome to my world now. That's the way it was today.
Yeah.
But you folks know that we were getting cooler weather, especially at night, and the humidity had finally broke. Well, today it's like, no, we're not having any of that. We're back to torrential rains all day today and 300% humidity.
Yeah, today it was only in the mid-80s, which was really, really nice. That's about my perfect temperature. And tomorrow we're back in the high 90s.
Yeah, I don't mind 80s. 80s, I like, see, 75 is fine for me. 75,
I
slight
like it
breeze,
higher.
no humidity. Yeah,
Yeah.
the missus,
Well,
she
yeah.
likes it hotter too. She likes it, mid 80s, mid 90s.
I
No
think it's
humidity unless you're in the pool.
yeah.
Then
Well,
you can have
I think it's
humidity.
an age thing.
Yeah, I don't know.
I never used to like it so warm.
Oh, she's always liked it hot.
Well,
Yeah, she likes it hot.
my sister used to call my mom and me the hothouse flowers.
Yeah.
So she went and had, when we all lived together, she went and had an air conditioner put in her bedroom, and I mean, she lived in there.
Yeah, I have it. The AC is usually for me in the in the bedroom, but we've been good. We've only had to use fans for about a week, and that's fine. But yeah, tonight's horrible, absolutely
Yeah.
horrible. So
Yeah.
I kicked on the AC in the studio here.
Yeah, our humidity is only like 62%, but I mean, it is just,
Yeah, it's still nasty. Al
yeah,
said we had a fantastic June here in Northern Ireland. So much rain in July that we considered building an ark. Now it's changing back to the sun. I'll be glad to get outside properly again. Yeah, I'm a fall guy.
yeah, I thought
Yeah, I like the
you
fall.
guys in Ireland did that every year, built an ark.
Yeah, just saying. Yeah, for people
rain
over in the
for
UK complaining, it's like I thought it always rained in the UK.
Yeah.
Oh, it always rained there. Not the best place for a drop top automobile.
Oh, did you see the
convertible.
latest thing? Idiot Gates and I don't know, was it one of the Who people talking about it's kind of like seeding when they seed for rain,
Mm-hmm.
but they're talking about spraying some kind of aerosol or these chemicals that will block the sun.
Yeah,
Can you think
I didn't hear that. They've fielded things like they, as in other people, have fielded
Yeah,
that
yeah.
stupidity,
Yeah,
and it's stop it. It's like it's
yeah, right.
yeah.
Yeah, I tell you.
Plus, I'm not so sure it would work the way they do unless it's I don't know, because a lot of the heat comes from the sun going through the atmosphere and then bouncing back off of the surface and then bouncing around inside the stratosphere. You know what I mean? It bounces between the outer layers and the Earth itself. It's not directly from the sun coming down. It's because it's the greenhouse effect. The heat in the sun bounces around.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, they're stupid. They need to stop
I
it.
think things like that could go terribly wrong.
Oh, you think?
Yeah. Well, what was it? Years ago, there was a book out, something about, I think it was 1618 or 1860. It was like the year without summer or something like that. That this actually happened.
Yeah, I don't know.
Where million people just died from famine and because crops wouldn't grow, and yeah, it's just like, I don't know.
Al says it rains very often, but not so much in July. If
Really?
not
Well,
every day, it was almost every day. It was awful, worse than I can remember. Yeah, well, rain sucks. You know, if you like rain, again, the UK it rains anyways. The Northwest United States the same way. They've actually have rainforests. They're not tropical trees, but it's a rainforest up in the northwest of the United States. They get a lot of rain. I don't want rain. I don't want rain. We talked about that in cultures of the native peoples and how the Indians of the Northwest used a lot of textiles, where textiles were not a common thing until Europeans brought them over in the rest of the country. They had some, but it wasn't as widespread, where they'd use more animal skins for a lot of stuff in other places. But the Northwest, they were heavily textiles, and then their hats were like hats that almost look like Asian hats, the triangle cone hat things. That's because it rained so much. Leathers and stuff like that would rot out, so they needed something that dried quickly and was not susceptible to rotting. And textiles is the way to go. So every place isn't the same. Huge difference between southwestern Indian culture and northwestern Indian culture. Which is funny because we always, what do we like most? The huge totem poles were from the Northwest. That kind of got spread around. It's a visual thing from Alaska and then the northwestern United States. But then most all the other Indian stuff is heavily southwestern influenced. What we have now, like I said, the shops and
yeah. When my dog kicks the bucket, I'm going to travel. I'm not going to get another dog till...
Yeah, I've heard that. I'm not going to get another dog stuff before.
Well, I'm going to get another dog. I'm just going to get some traveling done before I do that. Yeah. I'm going to go to Ireland and Scotland. And...
Al says before Sicknick struck. That's the guy that died of a stroke. Before illness struck, I used to love to go out running in the rain. So refreshing. Yeah, I hated running, but yeah, I can see how it would be refreshing in the rain.
Oh God, we lived in the rain. It rained, we ran outside. Yeah, loved it.
Al running in the rain. You just like wearing wet T-shirts, Al.
Oh, good Lord!
We found the real deal there. Yeah, and the latest indictment filed against Trump. The judge is slamming it. Is why you want it in. If the crimes were primarily in Florida, why aren't you filing any of the stuff in Florida and that wants it filed in D.C.? Well, because they stack the deck in D.C. That's why they want as much shit filed in D.C. as any place else in the country.
I tell you what, Trump is never going to see a day in jail.
No.
Because everybody needs to go and read the U.S. Code. I think it's 18, the code 3056. It is the powers, authorities, and duties of the United States Secret Service. And that tells it all right there.
Yeah, well, that's not why he won't serve a day in jail.
No, it is.
Yeah, it's a complication. No, it's not, because if he went out tomorrow and shot a whole family, he'd be serving time in jail.
Well,
whether he has Secret Service, he'd be in jail. So that's not the reason why he's not going to serve.
General populace in a regular.
There's a difference.
Prison.
Yeah, but yeah. I get what you're saying, but no. Not for what no.
And they couldn't ever put Hillary in there for the same reason, because she's married to a president.
Nah, bullshit.
No, read the code.
Do you know who you're talking to?
Well, read the code.
Wrong. The code is not a blanket immunity for all crimes.
No, Wrong. It's not for all crimes, but for something like this, he is not going to see a day.
If Hillary was charged with the crimes and she was committed with the crimes, whether she was the spouse of a president or not, whether or not she has Secret Service protection or not, shit would change pretty damn quick.
It would have to change, because they'd have to clear out an entire wing of the prison in order to house any of those people.
Or they would have to modify the issue with Secret Service.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Right. That's not, again, Donna. The Secret
just having sure.
No, it doesn't. They would modify things. The code is not a blanket, because you have Secret Service protection for X, Y, and Z issues, that you will never serve time for crimes committed. That's not how it works.
They would not serve time in a regular prison, in our general prison system.
What's the difference, Donna? Donna, what's the difference?
Because
between not being in general pop or serving time in a even if it is a club-fed type facility where they had their own damn cabana. What's the damn difference?
That's what it would have to be.
It'd still be in prison.
Well, yeah, it'd be in prison, but it wouldn't be in our regular prison system.
Yeah, they wouldn't send him into General Pop with murderers and lifers and shit like that, and they probably wouldn't anyways. It's not how it works. Yeah, but no. Al says, I reckon he'll be convicted because of D.C., and that'll be overturned by the Supreme Court. Between that, he'll be let out. Yeah. It's if he's convicted, like it's not even gone to prison. It's not even gone to trial yet.
No.
I mean, we're way before it even gets to that point. He's going to have appeals. They're working the magic right then. But no, having Secret Service protection is not a get-out-of-jail-free card where you can say they'll never serve a day in prison. Yes, if you're convicted of a crime.
Not in the general populace. Not in general.
But that's different. Right.
Prison system. Not in our regular prison system. He could be under house arrest or some sort of, like you mentioned, some facility that afforded him.
Right. Al said it may be overturned before that. Correct.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a. Yeah. Moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on. Tonight's coffee, raspberry or chocolate raspberry, New England brand. It's absolutely fantastic. Very flavorful. That's the one thing about New England brand is they don't skimp on the flavor. If it says it's X, that's what it is. Orion joined the show. Hey, welcome to the show again, Orion. Shit getting heated already.
We love it. We love it.
A little bit, yeah. My general rule of thumb, if I say something 2 to 3 times in a row, I know what I'm talking about. Move on. Not everybody's going to agree with me on everything, but if I don't know, I'll say I don't know. If I'm pretty sure of something, I'll say something. So yeah, we're going to have well, hell, this is just the latest indictment. We're still dealing on procedural and timing issues on the other indictments and charges that were filed, setting up court dates and what have you. They're trying to get stuff, some within a year, some just after. There is no way, because if this was just a general, let's say Trump was just a businessman and he was charged with X, Y, and Z, it'd probably be 2 or 3 years before he even gets to court. I mean, they're backlogged. Al says the get out of jail card is, well, being a Democrat and part of the you know what. Well, it's not a get out of jail card. It's a don't get prosecuted card. Yeah. That's why I always get a kick out of it. Oh, nobody's above the law. Yeah. Yeah, try to sell that to somebody that hasn't seen the horse shit for the past 20 years.
40 years.
Yeah. So I mean, things have really ramped up. Now we're in insane. For the past 5 years, they're outright lunacy. Laurel says, I'm waiting to see who Trump's team is going to subpoena into court to testify against January 6th. Yeah,
it
don't
should
know.
Be interesting.
Like I said, I wish Trump picks his teams better, because his teams have been known to pull some bonehead things and make some rookie mistakes. And I have no idea why he chooses some of the people he does. So we'll see how it goes. He didn't break any laws concerning January 6th anyways.
No.
I've read the indictment.
Free speech.
Yeah, I've read the indictment. Doesn't
Yeah.
list real. It lists things that they don't like. Makes innuendos. Makes suppositions on what he knew and what he didn't know, which is not provable. His state of
Right.
mind, which is not provable. Because a lot of the crimes that the indictment covers has to do with, number one, it has to be intent, has to be there, which a lot of, not all crimes, but most crimes hinge on a legal terms. It's called mens rea, and mens rea is the active knowledge and intent to commit the crime.
Yeah.
Not all crimes, but most. That's where it does. Like manslaughter and stuff like that. There does not need to be mens rea for that because it's a peripheral category of crime. But most crimes you need mens rea. There was
I
none.
don't think they care either way.
No, because it's a show.
It is. That's all it is. It's a pre-election show.
I mean, you can't get any. You thought that the election interference last time around was bad. Look, it's already started. It's already started, and we're not even hitting social media hard yet. You wait. This is all. Man, what a shit show. And you know that it's all bullshit when the only person who actually killed somebody on January 6th was the Capitol police officer.
Right.
Oh, and he was cleared my ass.
Yeah.
Cleared my ass. He made statements before that he was going to shoot himself a Trump supporter.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Oh, you didn't know that? Yeah.
No.
Yeah. He had made statements before January 6th that he was going to shoot himself a Trump supporter.
Really?
Yeah.
I never heard that.
Oh, and lo and behold, he shot one. He has also, at least on one occasion, left his sidearm in the restrooms. Al says it was clear bloody murder. It was. They said, oh, he had under color of law since he thought there was a threat and stuff like. He could just like no, because if that was the case, they could have opened fire on all of them. They knew there wasn't any threat, and in fact, there was police officers, I'd say, easily within arm's reach of her at that time, wearing full SWAT gear. So there was police right there with her. She was no physical threat to either the property, because the window was already broken. She didn't break it. The window was already broken. She was no threat to the property. And you can't shoot somebody down for breaking a freaking window. Right. Al says there were 3 to 4 SWAT officers right with her. Right. That's what I'm saying. Within, I'd say within 6 feet. So I don't know if they were, because it's kind of hard to tell sometimes with camera angles, but they were in frame and pretty damn close in the other footage of the people in the vestibule. I guess you'd call it a vestibule, right? It's the gathering area at the top of the stairs between two junction points. You know, there. He was there. So they were there. Plus the fact, when police officers open up barricades and welcome people in and wave people in, it's no longer illegal trespassing because they were waved in. Like I posted up today, all the stuff that we warned these people, don't fall for this crap. They're going to have a shit ton of agents from different agencies, local and federal, mixed in with the crowds, trying to agitate, try to push things and get people to do things that they normally wouldn't do. And it's easy to do. Anyone that knows human nature, you can whip up a crowd really freaking easy. You can get people to do things that they normally wouldn't do really easy. And that's exactly what they did. That's also why they refused to go even what you would consider full staff on that day. It's like, really? Really? You guys knew that there might have been a potential problem or that there was going to be protests and you're going to go light that day? No, you want shit to happen. And if they couldn't get it, they would make it. There you go. Now, does that mean that people didn't break the law? Yes, some people broke the law. The vast majority of people that were there did not break the law. And those that broke the law broke misdemeanor crap at best. Stuff that most people would have gotten, probation, especially since they had no criminal records. They would have gotten probation at best, minimal to no time. They wouldn't have had to wait pre-trial confinement for a year and a half. Get the fuck out of here. Al says Ray Epps. Yeah, he's a shady motherfucker.
Yeah, I wish they'd drag him in.
Him and his dirtbag lawyer. It's like, stop it. Oh, he was going to cooperate. He was going to do this and he was going to do that. Look, I don't even care if it's totally innocent. The way the government has treated Ray Epps compared to the way they've treated everybody else is abhorrent. Nobody's above the law. Equal treatment. Nah, bullshit. Bullshit. And like I pointed out all the time, and Al will tell you this, because he worked the road too. There's not a single person that if you wanted them in jail because they broke a law, that you couldn't get them within 2 weeks. You couldn't arrest them for something if you were looking. There are so many damn laws on the books. Al says he's the most guilty of them all. Don't care if he's an agent or not. It's clear what he did. Yeah, he did. He actually did what? Incitement? Yeah. And they're charging other people for incitement, and they didn't incite a damn thing. They're charging Trump with incitement, and he didn't incite a damn thing. In fact, he said, protest, make your voices heard, protest peaceably. That's not incitement. Oh, and the shitbird prosecuting attorney that did the latest indictments, he's going to get nailed for that shit too. Because under all the lists of shit that was there, failed to mention Trump telling people to protest peacefully and then to go home. See, all that shit was omitted. Because it's a show trial. Banana Republic bullshit is what it is. And people have a nerve to talk about Russia and Ukraine and Africa and all these other places that, it's like, yeah, look what the United States is doing right now. Has been doing. Al says, you're right. If you want to get someone, you can find a reason. Pull them over and you'll always find a violation. Yeah, and there's, and again, it was illegal for him to get pulled over. Are you kidding me? There are 50 billion legal reasons to pull somebody over. Erratic speed. Erratic speed. Yeah. Erratic speed. Weaving or swerving, bouncing off of the center line or the sideline. I mean, there's 50 billion legal reasons to pull somebody over. But even that, you just have to watch them. Just watch them. They'll commit some crime. There are so many crimes on the books, and officers are not duty bound every single time a crime is committed. Do they need to arrest somebody and then recommend charges? The standard should be and is for the benefit of the community. Does it serve an actual benefit to the community? If not, no, then it's not the spirit of the law. The letter of the law is there to deal with an issue for the betterment, supposedly, for the betterment of the community. So if they're committing a violation and it's not in the spirit of the law, even if it's in the letter of the law, you don't mess with it. That's why all these whole documents crap and former presidents and everything like that, they all did it. If you went back to every single president in our lifetime and looked at what they did after they left office and in transition, they've probably broken 5 or 6 codes concerning documents and other stuff. It happens. So stop it. This is pure political theater aimed to retaliate and take out a political opponent, period. And you don't even have to like Donald Trump to see that shit. Again, folks who follow my content, and especially who follow my show, they know damn well what I think about the man. But when you're talking the law and you're talking about right and wrong and you're talking about morals, in intellectual honesty, you have to set your biases and your feelings aside and go, this is either right or it's wrong. And what's happening now to Donald Trump is wrong. Does he have a big mouth? Yes, he does. Does he need to shut it? Yes, he does. Does he bring a lot of shit on himself? Yes, he does. However, what the left is doing is unconscionable. It's illegal. It's tyrannical. It is banana republic hogwash. Period. And we as a nation, out of all the nations on earth, the United States should be above that crap. And here's the sad part. I'd posted up on, I forget who it was, another page out there. Those who get notifications of my posts on other people's content, they would have seen it already. I had mentioned that, I'm paraphrasing here, the sad part is the right's not going to do anything about it. They never do. They're going to dodge, bob, and weave. They're going to defend themselves against this abhorrent abuse of the system and the laws. And then when they're victorious in the end, because people aren't all in jail and the nation's still in one piece, they're going to hug it out, say kumbaya, move on as if nothing fucking happened. Why? Because that's what the right does. You go, oh, well, not Donald Trump. We've already dealt with that. Yes, even Donald Trump. Donald Trump ran the first time on putting Hillary in prison. She's not in prison. Donald Trump ran on cleaning the swamp. He didn't fucking clear the swamp. He didn't do the things that the people were electing him to do. They thought he was going to go in there and just rip the place apart, and he didn't. He ripped his staff apart. So again, the right doesn't do, and I'm not even saying Donald Trump is the right, because he's not. But he didn't do, and the right doesn't ever do anything. They bitch, piss, and moan when they're in the underdog position, and they say all the good things that they're going to do when they actually get power, and then when they get power, they don't do anything. Al says if the tables were turned between the U.S. and Russia and the explanation and the expansion of NATO against an internationally signed agreement, the U.S. would have acted a lot earlier than Russia did. Yes, that's another. Yeah. The whole Russia-Ukraine shit is U.S. and other NATO meddling and forcing the issue. And Al is absolutely correct. Now, again, about Putin, I dislike Putin. And I spent my entire time, except for the end, because I served during the Cold War and then after the Cold War. But the majority of my time in service was dedicated to being prepared to fight the beast, fight the bear. I have no love for Russia. I have no love for, and by Russia, I mean the nation, former Soviet Union, the leadership, the political machine. The Russian people, whatever. I could care less. Or shall I say, I could not care any less. But all the rest. So when I say Putin was not at fault, he wasn't at fault. The Ukrainians, number one, the United States helped a coup in Ukraine. The democratically elected president of Ukraine was ousted from office by help from the United States. Don't tell me, oh, democracy, democracy. Fuck you in your cries for democracy. The United States isn't a democracy, and when it comes to democracy, you don't give a shit about it. You just care about who's in power. It's not democracy. And Ukrainian forces were assaulting and killing ethnic Russians in Ukraine, in the Donbass region. Crimes against their own people. And Putin said, "Oh, you had chemical weapons." Oh, no, they didn't. No, they didn't. Yeah, and then we got to rush in. Why? Well, because this biological chemical factory was about to get taken over by the Russians. Well, wait, you said they didn't have any there. Yeah, see, there you go. And who was footing the bill for that? The United States. It's all a shit show, and the United States is on the bad end of the stick this time. Putin was protecting Russia. Now you can hate Putin all you want. I think he is a thug and evil man of the highest caliber. But how that shit rolled out, and again, like Al pointed out, there was an agreement that Ukraine would not become a member of NATO. That was a military cushion. Al writes, the maiden coup in 2014, as you say, the Donbass has been attacked and bombed since then. Right. Yeah. Yeah, you saying everything last. Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. People want to close their eyes. For what reason? Because they hate. There's some that hate Putin so bad. Again, I trained most of my military career to fight the Russians. And this isn't a Russian problem that the Ukraine is dealing with. This is a corrupt, and Ukraine, and we've talked about this on other shows, Ukraine is the trailer park of Europe. It is the most corrupt and vile shithole in Europe. Everybody knew it, and everybody knew it 5 minutes before Putin decided to take action. But their dislike of Putin, their hate of Putin, clouds them to the realities of things. And then it just gets into simple tribalism again. It's ridiculous. I had said from day one, I wrote an article. No, I didn't write an article, but I mentioned it. I wrote an article about Syria, but it was the same situation. The article I wrote about Syria was, there are no good dogs in the fight. The rebels are shitbirds. The government was shitbirds. There is no good dogs in that fight in Syria. So for us to take a side was pure insanity. There was no need for it. I said similar things about the Russia-Ukraine thing. It's not our fight. There are no good dogs. I can understand viewpoints, and I can even understand Putin's viewpoint, and I believe he has the stronger case. But people hate him so bad, they're going to pick the other guy. I said, don't pick anybody. The United States shouldn't be involved in this. But again, we're involved in 2014 for crying out loud. I'm a former soldier. I know what war is about. It's something that you enter into reluctantly, and then you get in, hit hard, and get the fuck out because it's dirty. And everybody's playing like the Ukraine problem is a freaking video game and in a late night TV show. Stop it. Here's another thing. You know that a lot of it's shit. It's shitty where it's happening, and then the rest of the country is fine. And the country's not that damn big. Leave them alone. It would have been done. The whole thing would have been done, I would even argue, wouldn't have even happened if the United States and other nations weren't sticking their fingers in the pie, swirling it around. But that being the case, if everybody just left it alone, it'd have been over by now. It'd have been over by now. But here we are. Everybody's dirty. And we send over equipment and we send over money to a clown. Zelensky, the freaking clown. I played on one of my shows. I played when he was still making the comedy circuit. He is a failed comedian. I say failed because he wasn't funny. He was a freaking comedian. 5'0", no talent, hack. And he becomes the president? Give me a break. And then he's going to go and lecture to the world and then go on all these places wearing his freaking, he's going to wear his pseudo-military style clothes. Yeah, because I always went into battle wearing an OD sweatshirt. That's what I wore. No, and him and his wife's photo shoots. Give me a break. And people eating this up. Num, num, num. Yummy, yum. Stop it. Get out. Shouldn't have been involved in the first place. He wasn't going to go over and just take Ukraine. He knows that would have been stupid. But they kept pushing, and they kept pushing, and they kept pushing. So he says, fuck it, I'm going to start taking some shit back. Took back his port. I get it. Al says they'll take Zelensky out and recoup the money. Yeah, the money's gone. The money is gone. There's nothing to recoup. I wish. That's why they keep asking for more shit. And here's the thing is Biden and his family and others were using Ukraine as a washing machine before all this shit fucking happened. Like I said, everybody knew the deal about Ukraine. But now they're this great bastion of democracy, and it's the Red Scare all over again, except for this time there is no scare. What are they going to do? Oh no, they're launching missiles into Poland, and yeah. Well, guess what? It wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't. All a show. And Americans just eating it up. Eating it up. Because they're stupid. And you point it out and then then people are going to call you names. It's like, what? I'm just looking at the reality as it's before me. It's crazy. So there's certain things that I don't usually like. I'll talk about it here. I'll talk about Trump peripherally here. I'll talk about Ukraine peripherally here. We don't spend a lot of time. Most of the shows aren't about it. And those that might be listening to it now, yeah, most of our shows, they're not political. They're not political or social. We talk about all sorts of other crap. Hey, Judy, welcome to the show. But yeah, I don't talk about those issues because they're a loss. No matter, when certain issues came up, I made my post about them and let it known. And those who get it, and those who don't, they'll just turn off because they disagree with me, though I'm right, on 2 or 3 issues. So it's not worth reducing the reach and potential viewership on a couple issues that it's not going to matter whether I talk about it or not. Al says, my daughter's school had a Ukraine funding day, and the kids had to wear blue and yellow. I said to my wife, our girl is not going. And I'll take her later. I'll go in and take her out. Not on my watch. Yeah. It's your job as a parent. Absolutely. Yeah, I drive around the state and you see Ukraine flags here and there. It's like, yep, now I know. I know. You think you're signaling to the... This is what gets me, too. You folks know me. I like to drive the back roads, which means they're places most people aren't going to drive. Why are you putting Ukraine flags out on a back road where nobody's going to be driving? Why are you putting rainbow flags out on back roads where nobody's driving? Why are you doing it? Black Lives Matter signs on a back road where it's a fucking dirt road. That there's 3 houses down the whole thing. Who are you virtue signaling to? In the state of New Hampshire, for crying out loud. Really? Stop it. But again, hey, or maybe not. Thanks for letting me know. It's one of the reasons I put no political or social bumper stickers on my cars. I put no political or social signs in my yard. Nothing. Al says, I disagree with you on a few things, not many. I disagree with my wife on many, yet I still love her. No, I get it. Yeah, well, because men and women will generally find, even when their spouses will find things that they disagree with, as a rule, more than just 2 buddies that are guys, because we're just wired different. Men and women look at things different. When it comes to the misses with me, it's usually about degrees of things and what's more important. I can't say that she really disagrees with me on anything of substance. But yeah, I tell people, hey, if you can agree with me, not even as a friend, not a spouse, just someone that views my content, if you can agree with 80% of the stuff I put out there, done deal. Most of the people, though, that follow my content, they say it's probably closer to 99%. It's in the upper 90s. And then you have to decide the stuff that you disagree with me on, is it important enough to ruin the rest of the exchange and interaction and us being on the same team? Al says, I agree with my mother-in-law on more things than my wife. Hell, is that normal? That could be the age difference. A lot of times women will, and it has to do with their chemical balance as well. The older they get, they change their mind about things. So, yeah, I'm trying to think whether or not things that I disagree with my wife about. Oh, there's things. She's wrong, but there's yeah, not many, and definitely nothing of value. Nothing that really means anything. Yeah, I probably would not have agreed with my mother-in-law much. We didn't talk much. agree more with her father. Both of them are passed away now, but yeah, it goes, now, don't play the good husband. Say it, fess up. Say what? You want to know what I disagree with her on? Oh, my God. You know, I can't, and it's not me just playing the good husband. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. When it happens, it happens. It's usually degrees. And believe it or not, there's things that she has a stronger view of than I do. God says don't do it. Okay, I'll give you a good. I don't mind women driving motorcycles. Caveat: they must be size appropriate for the woman. Some women are driving motorcycles that I think are too big for them. If they drive like a Sportster or something, a Honda, some of the smaller Hondas, that's perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that. I know it's kind of weird. The missus, on the other hand, she literally cannot stand seeing a woman driving a motorcycle. She really, I'd say, to say she has an aversion to it would be putting it lightly. Some of the things out of her mouth when she sees that she's not impressed. She does not like that. I don't mind. Again, if they're trying big old Harley and they think they're a biker dude, yeah, that's annoying. Stop it. Stop it.
Yeah, mine was a 450.
Yeah.
That's plenty.
Appropriate size. You get an appropriate size and style of motorcycle, and I don't have a problem with it. The missus doesn't like it. So that's one thing.
My husband had a Sportster, and instead of me getting my own bike, he was going to just let me use a Sportster because he had his Magna that he preferred to, and I just didn't like the Sportster.
Yeah, but it's a good size for a girl.
It was only a 750, but I don't know. I just could not. I wasn't comfortable on it.
But yeah, it's a good size for most gals.
Yeah. I would say, less than 750. Yeah.
But see, Yamaha and Suzuki, they have some really nice small framed bikes.
Yeah.
And they're perfectly sized for women.
Yeah.
Al says, I wind my daughter up and wife, saying her nanny is so old she had a pet dinosaur. Why would that wind him up? I mean, sure she would take a pterodactyl to school. Came and picked her up for school in a pterodactyl. They flew her to school. But yeah, we're very socially, politically, spiritually aligned, which is handy. See, the good thing, the courting period, I wasn't trying to impress her. That's number one. Too many people try to impress because they're out looking for something. I had no interest. I was gay. I wasn't gay. I was just in a point in my life. I had no interest in having a woman. So I just let it rip. Like, this is me. This is what I think. Blah, 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 blah. And she was like, oh, yeah. Maybe I should have tried to woo her a little bit more. Should have pumped the brakes. But no, she was like, oh, yeah. Yep. The same way as on here. It's like people meet me and they follow my content and they've met me before in life. And they're like, oh, my God, you're just like you are online. It's like, yeah, I am, aren't I? Yeah, why be something different? Why be something different? Hell, people come to my show and I'll let you know. I'll sling it. I'll let you know when I get pissed off. You know, it's like there's no value to me in trying to be somebody that I'm not. How'd you meet your wife? She babysat for my sister. And you know, I go into later. I go later in private. Yeah. Gus says I can hear her laughing in the morning listening to the show. Yes, she does. She does. And then I'll be working on something in the other room and I'll hear her going, I'm like, "What? What was that? What were you laughing at that time?" So she has to tell me. I was like, "Oh, well, that's nothing. Just wait till later on." Yeah. She chased me. Al said, "Who chased who?" She chased me. Yep. She'll tell you that. It's no big deal. I was, yeah. Yeah. I can tell you what she was wearing the first time we met, though. She was wearing a white sweater. Had the 80s haircut, you know, the poofy. Yes, I can't remember. It's loose curl, almost like a feathered look. Al said, would she agree? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, she'd agree. Yeah, white sweater. I remember big blue eyes. I was like, oh. Gus says the show is skipping. Is the show skipping?
Yeah, it's hanging up every now and then, just for a few seconds.
Okay. Judy says it does get pretty comical sometimes. I know I crack up. No, we used to crack up more. Let's see here. It's yeah, I'm not getting, it says I've got an excellent connection. Yahoo's telling me it's an excellent connection, and I have absolutely no dropped frames on my outgoing. So if it gets too bad, let me know. No, I like the show to be, you know, we can discuss things, but a little laughter is fine. Al said his wife and him disagree on who chased who. I know she chased me too. She is delusional and doesn't agree. No, this is hey, I tell you, y'all know me. I'll be honest. If I chased her, I chased her. I didn't chase her. She chased me. She chased me.
I went and checked another video because yours every once in a while will
hang up,
get out of focus.
Mm-hmm.
And then it comes back and it'll stay there, you know, for a while. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm still getting, YouTube is telling me the signal's excellent. I've got and I've told you in the past, I've even told you, hey guys, I can tell you the show is dropping, right? Because I get notified on my streaming going out through my streaming software. Not a single notification, so I have no idea what it is. Hey, Gus and Sally.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Judy says, I love the laughter. It makes my night better. Yeah. I mean, like I said, we can discuss things that irk us, but this is a place where we usually don't spend much of a show on that stuff. We just go on to other things because life is about more than that stuff. So how you kids doing tonight?
We were wondering how deep the hole was going to get and if you were going to need a second shovel to fill it back in.
About what? I wasn't digging any holes.
Yes, you were.
What holes? What holes? What was I digging there?
When you were talking about your wife.
I didn't dig any holes. What holes?
Well, Gus came on and said, "Don't do it."
Oh no! Trust me. No, I won't. No, you know me better than that. I'm not gonna censor myself or lie to the world about things. If I'm not gonna, I'll just say I won't say it. I'll talk to Al later about our whole meeting. This is not one of those stories that is for the general public. This is a private story. But yeah, disagreements. No, I'll tell you when we don't agree on things.
Yeah. My husband and I, we'd disagree on once in a while, and I'd get him out of it. I'd send him to bed with no clothes on, and he'd laugh.
Yeah, well, that's, I don't know what signal that sent in your household, but that's things are about to get hot. You go to bed without clothes on. How's that punishment? Or where's that dissuasion?
It's to get out of us.
Oh, to get out of it. Yeah, to get out of it. It's like, oh, okay.
Redirect.
Yeah.
There you go.
Turn one fire into another fire. Al says, I was once a strong man, but she wore me down with her wifey ways. No, see, I'm not worried about what I say. Al needs to worry. This is the second night he's going to get himself in trouble with his wife if she watches the
I don't think he said anything yet to get him in trouble.
Yeah, he's borderline.
What do you think?
Well, in that other show he's saying she knocked him over the head.
Oh, well, yeah, but hey, it slips every now and then. Just
No, I got no reason. No, I wasn't digging any holes, Sally.
Oh, but you were.
No, I wasn't.
Shovel right next to him. He was going to run out the door.
Who?
He was going to try and save you.
Who was doing that?
Gus.
Gus? Oh, Gus was going to say, I can't speak for Gus, but there was, no, trust me, not even close. I could start digging some holes, but no, I haven't dug any holes. No, this was all good.
That's why I said she's going to laugh tomorrow morning when she listens to the show.
Oh, yeah. And I've said she's done it anyways, because she's, one time, it was earlier in the series, and she'd like laugh, and it just for nothing, and I go, what? She goes, yeah, that's just you. It's like I am the way I am on the show in real life, and it makes her laugh. It's not she doesn't think I'm a clown, but no. So I'm not digging any holes.
I know that. I'm just picking on you.
We won't get into our failed foods issues though. Oh my goodness, we still laugh about that though. Because you get something in your head and it's like, oh man, this is going to work so good. And then you make it and it's like, oh man, this sucks so bad. And we pride ourselves with our cooking, as folks know. And we know
Who's
good
a better
food.
Cook?
Who's a better cook? Depends upon what it is.
I'm trying to open a can of worms here.
But there's no need. Again, you're asking the wrong man. Who's the better cook? What are you making?
My husband was a better cook.
She does baking, breads.
Yeah. When it came to
sort of regular cooking, I do meats.
Yeah.
And I'm better at seasoning than she is.
Yeah. See, my husband, it was the opposite. He was a better baker.
Yeah, that's a chemical process. Yeah, that's not cooking. It's great and it needs it, but yeah, cooking versus baking, they're two different animals. They're just they're different animals.
Oh yeah.
No, I was going to say if you were to go, okay, here's just a shit ton of ingredients, make something, I'd probably make something better. It's only because I know my seasonings. I can deconstruct. Here's a good example. We went out. It was a restaurant, and we liked their chicken marsala. It was really good. I was like, oh man, So we got the recipe. Not their recipe. We got online. We got a recipe for chicken marsala. We made sure that they were... Most of the recipes are about the same. So we picked one that was right in the middle of what we made it, and I said, no, this isn't right. So I went and I got the things to make it right. Boom, within probably 5 minutes or so, boom, there it is. There was the chicken marsala that we had at the restaurant. I know seasonings, I know flavors. I know how to get them. Does that make me a better cook? Well, it might, but we don't. In our house, it's usually like this. Like Judy says, teamwork, right. We'll both prep. We'll do different sections. And usually before it's done, if it's something that needs seasoning, she will always go, hey, come and give this a taste. And then if it's good, it's good. If it needs tweaking, I'll tweak it, and then it's done. So we don't have this. I posted about it before. There's no competition. There is absolutely none in the traditional sense. Yeah, sometimes we get our heckles up. We're people. But generally she does her, I do me. We both have certain things that we contribute and we play off of instead of envy or considering an imposition, that which the other provides better. It's like, hell, I'm benefiting. Why? It's like, yeah, no, encourage the other person to do the things that they do well so that you don't have to do it. And then you end up, we're a man and woman are a team. They're a team. When things are running right, you get a better end product. We're designed that way. Which always blows my mind, people trying to fight biology and human history and evolution. When I mean evolution, I'm not talking about from monkeys. I'm just talking about how Homo sapiens, I'll leave that other arguing and hogwash to other people. Homo sapiens, as we have evolved and tweaked ourselves. And yes, we have. That's why we have, quote unquote, different races, because each segment of peoples adapted to that particular region to benefit and work better and live better in that. So we've all evolved to some degree. So whatever. Don't fight it. It's like, oh, a woman doesn't need a man. What a stupid thing to freaking say. That's as much as saying a man doesn't need a woman. That's a freaking stupid thing to say. We're meant to have each other. The key is finding the right other person. And the human species would fail to be if we didn't have that partnership and we didn't work together as a team. We get into problems when the roles aren't right. And then you get conflict. I'm not saying you can't have a strong woman. When I say strong, I'm not talking about physical strength. I'm saying you can't have a strong one. You want a strong partner. Who wants a weak partner? An idiot wants a weak partner. If you're a man and you want a weak woman, you're an idiot. If you're a woman and you want a weak man, you're an idiot. You want a strong partner. You want somebody that can be a partner and not an anchor. You want somebody who can improve your life, not weigh it down. So pick the right partner.
Sally's sitting here smiling at me.
Why? What you thinking there, Sally?
I'm not going to tell you.
I'm not going to tell you.
Not on the air.
That's another of those things. No. Well, that's another off-air discussions. No, I get it. But, yeah, it's... And, yes, you've got to be mentally and physically attracted to your partner. Yes. But also remember there's more to it than the physicality. Because even the best smelling car is is not going to smell new car fresh forever.
No. I'm trying to think of how it's worded. It's called
The yoke.
the yoke. You have to be yoked.
You have to be yoked together. Yes. And the yoke makes people work as a team.
Correct.
You can't be faster and you can't be slower. You have to be side by side and working together. Yes. Yoked together.
I was trying to think of the exact wording, but
yeah, you did close enough.
Yeah.
But everybody thinks it's a competition. But back to the strong woman, strong man thing. You can't have two bosses.
No.
That's where a lot of, and that's where society has told women. See, women naturally work better being a supportive, following member of the team. Naturally works better. And there's reasons for that. There's biological reasons for that. Men are naturally the head of the household. Doesn't mean they don't take into account everybody's best interest, and they better make the right decision, but they're suited for the head of the house and do the hard stuff and the dangerous stuff. We're designed to protect. We're designed to do the hard work. We live in a society that's not really a problem anymore, and they've lied to the women saying, you don't need this and you don't want this. And then women go and do it's like sexuality. You need to act just like a man. You're going to feel good, and it's woman empowerment to go and fuck 20 guys. No, it isn't. You're going to feel like shit. Why? Because men and women have different biological imperatives when it comes to sex. We don't think the same. We don't feel the same. We have different biological imperatives, and you can't get rid of those by stupid social structuring. The same way as, oh, gee, you don't need a man, and you can just, guys can be with guys and girls can be with girls. Yeah. No. I mean, yeah, you can do it, but the species is going to die out. And most of that shit nowadays is fashion anyways. Same way as we talked about this back in the 90s. Oh, everybody was a lesbian. And then lo and behold, they found out that lesbians were having more unwed children than single women. Why? Because they weren't really frickin' lesbians. It was fashion. The whole LGBTQ, QRS, TUV crap now, it's all fashion. Fashion and fad. It's like, no, you're not. Stop it. And stop fighting. If a woman tries to be like a man, the average woman, tries to be like a man, she's going to be miserable. Absolutely miserable. And vice versa. A guy trying to be like a girl, oh, hell no. Thank God we're different. Thank God we're different. You need both. And you can't have two in the same household. That's why you see two alphas in a household. Nothing but problems. Nothing but problems. Men and women bickering and trying to figure out who's the boss and who's in charge. Not even a problem when it's clear who is. That's not a chauvinistic statement. That's a real statement. Can you imagine a football team if everybody thought they were the freaking quarterback? Ain't shit gonna get done. Gonna be a mess. Can you imagine watching a game with only quarterbacks? What a lousy game. You need the whole team, and they all have a different role. Better, worse, whatever. You can quibble over what you want. Ask a quarterback how he feels if he doesn't get covered correctly. How good is he when they keep coming in and just wiping him out every play? Yeah, he was really good, right? No. You need your team. And that's what a husband is the quarterback. They can't do everything, but they need a good team. Society wants to pit men and women against each other. It's like, Jesus, stop. Judy says the man is the head of the house, in my opinion. Right. It works. Hey, if you're a strong-headed woman and you find yourself a beta male, by all means have at it. You're not the norm. you're probably not going to be happy because even alpha women, strong, independent, fierce, got to be in charge all the time, they're attracted to alpha men. They did the same thing. Liberal women were attracted to conservative men. Disagreed with them on everything, but they were attracted to the conservative men. Why? Because they're men. Because they're freaking men. They're not women with a soft shell. You know what I mean? They sort of look like dudes, but they act like girls. It's like, no. Because we're designed for that. Stop fighting it. It's not a social construct. It's a biological imperative. There's a difference.
I was sitting here trying to think of some of the, they're not animals. They're like insects or whatever you want to call it that don't need, each other to reproduce. That's not us.
Yeah, asexual.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are not a self-replicating species. No. We're designed. We have two opposites that work. That's why a man has a penis and a female has a vagina. It's not fucking accident. It's not like, oh, and it just oops. There's no difference between. Yeah, there's a freaking difference. I'll tell you that much. Yeah.
And it's not because one's an innie and one's an outie.
Right. It's not. Right. It's not the same thing. Just flipped inside out, which is what they're trying to do to guys.
Yeah.
They split, scrape, and invert. They cause a tunnel, and then they got to keep trying to keep the damn thing open. It's a freaking nightmare. Stop it. It's less harmful for a female because at most they build a fake phallus. Yeah. That's not going to work, but it's not the same thing as what happens with a guy. And they're screwing up people's lives over nothing. You're not born in the wrong body. Fix yourself. But not that way. Yeah.
You have a mental problem.
Right. Right. You don't fix anorexia and bulimia by getting lap band surgery and a gastric bypass. And that's exactly what they're doing with the transsexual issue. Oh, we're going to fix a mental issue by trying to make it appear as if their mental thing was somehow reality. It's not reality. You weren't born. Oh, but what about intersex? And it's like those are anomalies. And I'll tell you, the vast majority of the people who are transsexual, they're not even dysmorphic. It's social. It is a social contagion. It's a fad. They're trenders, which is why and that's why it's all exploded, because all you have to do is say non-binary, and then you're now in the continuum, in the alphabet continuum. No, you just all a bunch of stupid people. Stop it.
I'm offended.
You're offended. I look really concerned about that, right? No, I know. The people who join my show, they know. They're not offended by what I said. But no, it's just stop it. And you know what? Most of us, we could not care any less about any of this. Like back at 2000, nobody gave a shit. If you want to do something stupid, do something stupid. But then just spread and spread and spread, and then making everybody play along with the game. Oh, you got to use their pronouns. Oh, and you've got to affirm them. I don't have to fucking affirm a goddamn thing. I have never in my life demanded anyone affirm a damn thing about me. I am who I am. I need not your affirmation. But no, nowadays it's all, you got to affirm them. Affirm them. You got to use their pronouns. No, I use pronouns. I don't use your pronouns. It's not like the 7-Eleven you go down and buy yourself a pack of freaking pronouns. Hand them out to people. Hey, here's my pronoun. Use it. Fuck you.
Well,
I speak English. I know pronouns. Go ahead, Gus.
I was gonna say it's like during Christmas. You know, like you get these people that say, "Oh, happy holidays." I'll say, "No, Merry Christmas." You know, it's like.
Yeah, well, I get that, but see, I was one of those Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays guys before it was cool.
Yeah.
Just because I knew that there's multiple holidays in the same same period, so I just go Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Then and I think that you had the what you're more so, and correct me if I'm wrong, is when they started dropping Christmas out.
Correct.
And then the Happy Holidays was the default.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's bullshit. But I was always, before it was cool, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. Jesus loves you, but you're still going to hell because you're not a Christian. No, I know that's true.
Well, I can live with it, at that time, but
Yeah, it's when they started demanding the change and then purposely dropping shit. Yeah, I get you, Gus.
Yeah, because it's just like everything else. They want you to change to the minority instead of the majority, and that's a bunch of crap.
Yeah, and that goes along. That goes along with everything. They start with the we need to don't stigmatize, then we normalize a not normal activity, belief, or whatever, and then they want to mainstream it, and then they want to hit you over the head with it. Stop it. No, not happening.
Yeah, it's all about control.
Yeah. Yeah, so I give two shits. My tolerance, my tolerance has been long gone. There's things that we shouldn't tolerate.
No.
Tolerance for the sake of tolerance is not a virtue. Jesus Christ himself didn't freaking tolerate everything. Oh, Jesus loves you. Yeah. Oh, Jesus hung out. Yeah, Jesus hung out. And after everything he says, change. Jesus didn't say, you're perfect the way you are. Keep doing whatever the hell you're doing. It's all good because we love each other. Do you let your kids do whatever the hell they want to do because you love them? That's not love. Loving them is guiding them and making them do the right things, whether they want to or not, because kids aren't going to want to. That's love. Love is hard. Tolerance accepting. That's not virtuous unto itself. Stop it. Judy says, love this. LOL. What do you love, Judy?
I have a magnet on my fridge that I've had on there for years that said, I'm a parent, I'm not your friend.
Right. You can be friendly with your kids, but you're not your children's friend.
No.
Because you can't do things when you give up that position as being the parent. There are things that you can't do that you have to do. Be a parent.
It's like now that all of my kids are all, adults, and I try not to give my opinions unless they ask for it, or it's otherwise than that, I keep my mouth shut because they have to learn.
And there's nothing you can do anyways. You're not responsible for them. They're not.
Nope.
So, like, I've got one back living at home.
Your rule, you have to live by your rule.
That's the way it is.
Yep.
She's an adult, and that's fine, but it's still my house.
That's right.
But outside, when it's like, do your, me and the missus we'll talk amongst ourselves and say the things that we like and we don't like, and oh my goodness, but unless we're asked. Now there are times where I go, would you like my views? But I pick and choose and it's usually stuff that they're probably going to need to know.
Yeah.
But general stuff, and I've gone over this before too. You got a new partner? Fine, whatever. As long as they're not physically abusing you, I don't care. I'd wish that they treated you well. I would wish that you weren't fighting. I would wish that that you were a cohesive and good partnership. But if it's not, that's on you. You're putting up with it. You're contributing to it. Fine. Where I draw the line is physical stuff. Now, when there's physical stuff and it happens, I'm gonna come down like a ton of bricks. I'll take care of the problem. Short of that, not my business, because it'll always come to bite you in the ass anyways.
Oh yeah.
Because it's like you can talk shit about their partner, you can say this and that, and it's like when they break up, no, they've got to be broken up for years and maybe moved on with another person before you can really lay in about the ex. Why? Because they go back and forth all the time. It's like, just let it go. Pick your battles. Know what's going to work. That's the same way as here's the thing. Here's advice that I give to new parents. Never. Almost never. Put your child before your spouse.
And I think that happens a lot.
Happens a lot. Seen relationships get busted apart. Divorces happen, and then both of those people live alone and miserable at the end of their lives.
Yeah, I've never understood
you need to work together as a team, but you are a team. Your child does not break the two of you apart. Have a united front. Because as soon as that child grows up, they're going to find themselves a partner, and they're going to move on, and they're not going to give two shits. No, oh yes they do. No, when push comes to shove, and you know it yourself, you didn't put your own relationships on hold, and you didn't stay with your parents when you could be married and off with your new partner. Because that's the natural way to do things. So know that that's going to happen. So do not let a child. Now I said never, but it's like, no, if there's genuine abuse, if there's genuine problems, but most of the time that's not what it is. What it is just differing views, parenting styles, beliefs on issues. That's it. And then it splits up a couple, and they stop, and they don't realize that their life is more than this year. Their life is more than this stage in their child's life. Their life is more than their child. And that's all gonna carry on. And at some point they're going to be left without that. Thank God. Yes, please. So don't shoot yourself in the foot in the process and act as if everything now is the most important thing and forget the future that's coming down the pipe.
What I have seen is parents who do everything for their children, whether it be one or two or multiple children. They do everything until every one of them is said and gone, and then the couple doesn't know what to do with each other afterwards because they don't have that keeping them
They
going.
forgot themselves.
That's right.
Yeah, and now what? How am I going to interact with my spouse when our relationship was put on the back burner and we forgot about? It's like I said, we're more than mom and dad. We're John and her. We are a couple as well. Don't forget that. Save some time for you.
Yep.
Al says, now they're gone, and I wish I could tell them this. Your parents? Yeah. They get broken up like that. They forget their coupleness. Yes, as a couple, when you have kids, you give up a lot. Don't give up who you are. Do not give up who you are.
And you are a parent from the time the child is born until the time you die, too.
That's right. And we brought him into this world. We can take him out.
Boy, have I heard.
Yeah.
Or we wish.
Yeah. Yeah, people, they lose sight, and they lose sight of the important things. And Al says, see my previous comment. Okay. It just says, preach on, brother. And now they're gone. What was it? No, that's all I got here. Oh, Laurel says audio is pretty much gone. I'm signing off. Have a good night. Sorry about that, Laurel.
Yeah,
I missed
I'm
that one.
trouble.
Is my audio still busting up, folks?
Yeah, well, mine is.
It's 11:30. Or 11:30. 9:30.
9:30.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not on YouTube.
You're fine.
Yeah.
Hey, Judy, how's the audio for you? I know we still got some folks watching. So
I don't think it's everybody's that's having an issue. I
think it's just some people.
Yeah, because I think Al was doing fine and Judy was responding to your stuff.
I'm still getting excellent condition from YouTube, and again, excuse me, not a single
error.
Yeah, Judy says I got you perfectly. Yeah, I've no single drop frames, no nothing.
Yep.
No single drop frames. What the hell does that mean? No, I don't. Not a single issue, no drop frames.
Well, it's not you, it's them.
It's right.
Yes.
It's somewhere in the loop. It's probably whatever the last networking hub is. Because sometimes you go to Cincinnati and sometimes you'll bounce out through New York. Sometimes you'll be in San Francisco. Depends upon what hub they're being bounced off of. You can fix that, folks, but you've got to know how to do it. You got to go into your settings, and I couldn't tell you off the top of my head. Maybe Donna remembers more, but yeah, you can force your system to change where it's pulling its signal from.
Yeah, I haven't changed any of my settings or anything.
Yeah,
but
I don't do anything.
I have noticed that before I was getting sound out of both of my earphones,
and then just one.
And now tonight it's only one.
Oh, that's odd.
Yeah, it is kind of odd. But then I went back and I jumped over to another video, and it was right. So I don't know.
I don't know. Because I'm not sending the odd part. I'm not sending a stereo signal. I'm sending a mono signal. I'm sending a mono signal in stereo. I'm not sending a stereo signal. You audiophiles don't know what I'm talking about. I record. I can send in stereo. I'm sending in mono. It's the same signal out of right and left. There is no signal change. Oh, for all you folks, if you have to choose left. Left is the default mono signal.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna, like, if you put headphones in, put the left, if you can choose, put the left one in, because that's your default mono.
Primary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so it's weird. It's not my end. As long as there's nothing that I can do to correct the problem, and that's fine.
Yeah. No, it just every once in a while it drops a little, gets really undistinguishable. But it hasn't done it in the last 5 minutes. So.
Oh, that's good.
Well, I jumped on because you were stuttering.
Oh, was it chopping on that end?
Yeah, that's what my audio was sounding like once in a while. It just...
Like I said, I had to. There's no lost frames coming on my system, so there's got to be an issue on one of the
It's got to be on the platform.
Or one of the, like I said, either Cincinnati or New York or wherever the hubs are. They might be overloaded. There might be a problem there, so that's chopping up the signal.
Damn hackers.
a lot of use. Yeah, at least it's not not my end, and it's not for everybody, and we're struggling through it. It was me digging holes. It's like no, the missus is going to get a kick out of that. She'll go no. Just like who chased who? Yeah, she'll say no. She chased me.
I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. All I got was
no. Okay, Gus, she chased me.
Yeah.
You guys will end up hearing the story at some time, anyways.
Yeah, I know.
It's not internet stuff. This is.
Yes, I agree.
Right.
Yeah. We've talked about this.
Yeah, there's other things. You'll get a kick out of it.
Well, that's like.
And then you'll probably go, yeah, that makes sense.
It's like Sally and I, it's like.
It's like what?
Like, yeah, there you go. Who's digging a hole now?
Yeah.
No.
Okay, Sally, did you chase Gus?
I did not.
Yeah.
Gus chased Sally.
We had 45 years to find each other.
That's not a chase. That's a slow walk. You guys meandered around. Hell, that's Moses. Moses had less of a chance or more of a chance in the desert wandering around for 40 years. It's like, who? Oh, you. It's Sally. Oh.
I did a big fat mouth once, and that was the end of it.
You did what with your big fat mouth once?
I opened it.
You opened it. Oh, my goodness. Al says, when I was young, many times I resented my parents because I thought they were wrong. Now, as a parent, I realize they were right and I was wrong. You live and learn. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I have the luxury. Of both. I'm right as a parent, and my parents were wrong. Like, yeah. I understand. The wisdom comes now with understanding. I understand why certain things happen. Don't agree with it. They were wrong. But I understand it. So for the most part, I try not to harbor any ill will. Sometimes it's still, but yeah. So.
Well, I don't have much ill will towards my parents, and the other funny part about it is, I've got some of my older kids have actually come to me and said, "God, Dad, I wish I'd listened to you when I was younger."
Oh yeah, no, I get it. I rib my son all the time. I watch him with the kids, and we talk about things like, yeah, there you go. It gets him to you. You hear him saying things that I would say. It's like, oh, yep. There, yeah, look right there. It's like, yeah, I know. Yeah.
And I don't rub it in their face either. I just kind of go, I just chuckle.
No, I don't rub it in his face, but I let him know. I let him know I saw it. And then, that's fine. That's fine. You can have a whole conversation in a glance. Yeah, there you go.
Pretty much.
Oh, you don't like it when they talk to you like that, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, they didn't do what you said that they should do when you said to do it, huh? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was just tickled at when you said with a glance.
Yeah, with a glance.
I remember getting the eye. Yep.
I just, every now and then I remember, making a comment to my kids, and I go, I hope your kids grow up to be just like you.
Please. Now I go, I hope they grow up worse than you. Yeah.
It's funny how that works, though.
Well, that usually happens.
Oh, it happens.
My sister asked me 3 times to take it back, or my daughter did.
Yeah, I didn't hex you. That's just the way it works.
Yeah. Yep.
Al says, my favorite saying from my dad is experience teaches fools knowledge. Well, as long as they're not too foolish. As long as they're not too foolish. My favorite saying from my father. Shit in one hand and want in the other, and see which one gets filled faster. Yeah. That's my favorite my dad saying. Shit in one hand and want in the other, and see which one gets filled faster.
I think first time a cuss word came out of my mouth in front of my mother, she said, I wouldn't hold anything in my mouth that I wouldn't hold in my hand.
That's kinky. She's like, no, why? That's not where this is supposed to go.
You did double?
Yeah, don't encourage them. We all know how that works.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. No, I didn't swear around my parents. I didn't swear around my parents. They were
I was an adult. So.
Old school disciplinarians. Yeah, I didn't swear very often in front of
my mom, she didn't use the F word ever at all. I was on a bent one time where when I pass on, I want to go to the body farm and become part of science, you know?
Oh, I'm like, what the hell's a body farm?
The body farm.
Okay.
It's in Tennessee, and
I get it now.
They built another one somewhere in Texas somewhere. But we were sitting around playing cards one night, and I don't know how we got on that conversation about when we pass away, what they want and everything else. And I mentioned going to the body farm, and I'm not kidding. The conversation never came up again after this, because my mother, she said, well, I suppose I could go down to Tennessee and throw some fucking flowers over the fence once a year.
I reckon so.
And I thought, oh, shit.
Al says another saying my dad was, if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember a lot. Yeah, that's a classic.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. That's like I say, you'll get it from me. You're not going to hear me lying about shit. You're not going to get something that's not me, because then I never have to worry about it. Judy says, I don't either. My parents would have knocked me into the next week.
Next week, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, my father was a biblical disciplinarian. I was going to say old school. He was biblical. He was a biblical disciplinarian. Yeah.
It's funny because Sally's mom, she had, and all of her kids know exactly. They call them mummisms.
Mm.
What?
Mummism.
Like Jesus Christ and Bell ram it all to hell. I'm gonna lambaste you.
Mm.
Oh,
a mummism.
Yeah.
Mummism. She usually wouldn't say the words, but you knew what she was saying.
Yeah, right.
Yep. Yeah, we couldn't even do that. You couldn't even say like Jesus Crow or anything like that. It's like, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's what I always say. I always find it funny. It's like you're gonna write something, you're gonna put like the N-word. Like we don't know what the N-word is.
Yeah, right.
Or, oh, she was the B word. Like we don't know you just said bitch, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
You didn't. We know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Might as well spell it.
Yeah, write it out there.
Exactly.
The only reason I don't all the time. I do most of the time. If it's going on my website and some other things, I'll spell the words right out. Because number one, people know, anyone who follows my content, they know I'm not using words maliciously. I'm using them correctly. So they're either going to be, if I use the word, see, the problem is I don't want to get filtered on YouTube. But if I use the N word, I'm not using it as a pejorative against somebody. I'm using it as a demonstration or as it's right, a point as it's made. So I wasn't allowed to say fart. You weren't allowed to say fart.
Really?
Yeah, my mother-in-law, expelflatus. That was fart. Expelflatus. She's a old school nurse, so she tried to use technical terms. Yes, expelflatus.
Oh, flatulence.
It is flatulence, but expelflatus, because I believe that's what that's what the terms when they were writing on charts and stuff like that. The expelflatus, flatulence. It's so it's just a carryover. Old school nurse.
You know what's funny is I hated grammar. I hated English. I hated it, but I do know, and I'm usually pretty good with words, with definitions and how to use them. And I have no issues with that. And I can write some pretty good stuff, but it just I make myself laugh sometimes when I think how badly I was in grammar and,
Yeah, I was pretty good. I was pretty good with that. And I'm pretty much a thesaurus.
English.
When I was writing my articles, somebody was critiquing me at the beginning, and they're like, do you talk like that? It's like, yeah. Yeah. And again, if you follow if you've been to my shows, and then you read my articles and say, yeah, he talks, these words are not words. I'm not reaching for a thesaurus. This is the way I talk. These are the words that I use. And I'm not going to dumb it down for people. But Al said, my dad's wisdom stuck with me every time I was in the witness stand as a police officer. I never tried to spin it, just said as it was. And if it put my case in bad light, wait a minute. If I ever put my case in a bad
even
light,
if it
never
put his
lied.
case in a bad light.
Yeah. Well, this is, and I've watched police on witness stands more lately, because I'm checking things, and it amazes me how this is what we were taught. Number one, don't lie. Answer only what was asked of you and directly what was asked of you. No more, no less. And if you have notes, refer to your notes. That's it. And always bring as many notes as you can, because you can bring them and you can read your own damn notes and testimony. That's why you have your freaking book in the first place. You're writing down your notes. So then you can make your report. Either have a copy of the report, better yet, have your notes. And you're allowed to have them on stand. But again, do not answer just don't lie.
Yep, don't expound.
Right. Yes and no. No matter how bad you think it's going to make it look, do not do, because they're going to ask you questions that's going to try to make you look bad. Trust the other side. Trust the prosecutor. If you're on there for the defense, or if you're on there against a defendant, trust the prosecutor to correct things and to steer it back online. If you are the one that's the defendant, trust your lawyer to steer it back on course. Right, and if you don't know, say, I don't know. That's the biggest thing. You all know that about me. If I don't know, I say, I do not know. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. There's no shame in not knowing. Rectify it. Find out. But yeah, it's like I don't know what they're teaching. I have no idea what they're teaching. I may do a series so I've been watching more of these, the audits, whether they do a First Amendment or a Second Amendment audit. I don't care so much for Second Amendment audits, and there's reasons for that. I understand them, but there's a lot more legal issues to get involved in. Being that it involves a firearm, it can escalate a lot faster in a lot different directions than a First Amendment audit is. No, what a First Amendment audit is where somebody will take a camera or something like that, and they'll go into places, and they'll film, and they have a First Amendment right to do so, and they'll see whether or not the place is going to allow them to and not cause problems, and if police are called, how the police handle it, and so on and so forth like that. Society in general does not know the law, and so many police officers do not know the law.
Yeah. Yeah.
They know urban myths.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, you don't have my permission to videotape me. I don't need your permission.
Yeah.
But I asked you nicely. Doesn't matter. That's not how the law works. You can't videotape or take pictures here. Yes, I can. You don't have permission. There's a sign over there that says that you can't. That sign isn't law. I mean, I could go on all day. So like I said, I may do a series of these types of things.
Well, when the police have the body cams, they don't ask your permission.
No, because you don't have to.
Yeah,
when you're,
right.
But here's when you are in the general public, there is no expectation of privacy.
Exactly.
Period.
It's public.
As I say, oh, you can't film children. Yes, you can. If you don't want your child filmed while they're in public, then put them in a burlap sack or something. There is no expectation for anybody in public. Oh, you're taking pictures of license plates. So what? It's
the state takes pictures of our
right. You go down any main street and you've been on 30 cameras by the time you go 2 blocks. So shut up.
Yeah.
Al said, as a journalist, I hated covering court cases. As a police officer getting cross-examined, I loved it. Yeah.
Well, that's like, we have, and I probably shouldn't say this, but we have one camera that faces down our driveway. Well, It also hits the road. So I see every car that goes by.
Yeah. Well, you can set a camera shooting down the road. You can capture every plate. It doesn't matter. There is no expectation of privacy in public. The same way as if you can see it from the road, you can film it. It doesn't even matter whether it's a nuclear power plant. If you can see it from the road, you can film it. It always gets me, too, when places come out and, you can't film here. It's like, Google Earth. I can Google Earth you right now, motherfucker. Look at all the details I can get from Google Earth. You think that me filming this here is because I'm going to come up with something spectacular?
Yeah.
it's Google Earth has it.
I can go down every street and practically in the world and turn around and look at your house.
Right. As long as the street's big enough. Yeah. It's like, oh, I drive around New Hampshire sometimes like that. I go on Google Earth and go, okay, boom, and then put it, and I'll drive it down the road. Now, it may be like my house. I looked at my house on Google Earth, and I can tell when they took the picture, and they took the picture about 5 years ago. Because there's things that are changed there. My front fence is still there. I had a picket fence that was still there, and my first gazebo in the back was there. So I can tell these things. So, but yeah, like the information's out there, and if somebody is doing something that they're constitutionally allowed to do, leave them the fuck alone.
Yeah.
And as soon as the police show up and they figure out you're not breaking any laws, have a nice day.
Yeah.
And I know that for a fact because I did a shit ton of street photography. So I had calls because I open carry, and I had calls because I had a freaking camera. So I know how the system works. Never had a problem. I'll say I never had a problem with the police because of that. Never.
Yeah.
But there's police out there in some areas, they just don't know anything.
No. Well, it's like tonight, Sally, she was sitting on the porch, and our street, this would have been a perfect example of it, sitting on our street tonight. I wish I had a camera out there where I could actually see it and take a picture of it, but another truck passed another truck on our street at about 60 or 80 miles an hour, and it's like, that's where I'd like to be able to get a picture so that I could show it to the cop.
Yeah.
Here, this just happened.
So it's not only that they're passing, it's a 30-mile-an-hour zone.
Yeah.
And as you go past our house going towards Route 3,
that's coming down the hill, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
There's a hill right there, and you can't see cars that are coming up it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you put people in danger.
Yep.
And that's what my issue is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Al says,
perfect...
hold on, I got to get Al's comment before he gets lost here. He says, did you hear about the police service in Northern Ireland data breach? The names, rank, stations, and roles of every officer and civilian was released. I didn't hear that, but this may or may not come as a surprise to you. That's a non-issue in the United States.
Yeah.
Because all of that information is public record. You just put in a Freedom of Information Act request, and you can get names, rank, stations, position and role of every employee, their salaries. You can get all. It's all public. So I don't know how they deal with it in Northern Ireland. Whether, judging from your post, it would be, I presume that that's not publicly available information.
Yeah, because here, like in our town, they post that every single year.
Yeah.
In our town report.
Yeah, it should be on the budgets as well.
Yeah.
Because it's all laid out there, but like I said, even if you don't go to where it's published, you can go and you put in a Freedom of Information Act, and you just say, "This is all the information I want," and they'll email it to you. It's all available.
Yeah.
So they don't do that in Ireland.
They don't have a constitution.
Well, yeah, but Canada has a constitution as well, but I don't think that they
don't abide by it.
Well, their constitution says a lot different things than ours does.
Well, yeah, I agree.
We're not the only country. That's another thing to people. We're not the only country with a constitution, but ours is rather unique and not just in the way it's formulated, but in its scope.
Correct.
Is unique. So, Al, are you still there?
You were talking about Google,
Mm-hmm.
and just out of curiosity, because I know the last time I had looked up my home address, and it was, like you said, it was several years old.
Yep.
And evidently they have updated it, because I've got things that I've planted this spring, and
yeah,
they're on Google's. And
yeah, they do that. They do that periodically.
Yeah, so they've updated my section.
Yep.
My neighborhood.
Yeah, when I moved in, it was, I've been here damn near 10 years now. It wasn't the image that they're using now.
Yeah.
So it just depends upon when they're going to, because they update it in two ways. They do satellite updates, and they do road drive updates.
Right. It's got a watermark on it that says 2023. Yeah, so it's been updated just this
year.
Yeah.
I'll have to check ours and see if my pool is gone.
Yeah, because like I said, I just for what it was is I got a new a tablet so that I can put it in the car.
Yeah,
because it's just easier than, I mean, Android Auto is fine, but then there's some times where you might want to add something and go, okay, this is a nice location, put it so that I can go back to it or whatever. You can't do that with Android Auto. But they both run off of Google Maps. So we run the tablet and got a mount for it. And then you can make your notes and put it in there, and it automatically updates to your Android Auto, but you can't input through Android Auto. So that's why we got it. And I was just for shits and grins, it's like, okay, go back to my home and take a look, and it's like, oh, that's back when we had the first gazebo up there. First gazebo, and the fence was still in the front. Like, oh, cool.
Yeah, I've got a thing here on that where you can see when they have taken pictures or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes back. I've got one from 2007, and then they updated in 2013 and then again in 14. And then they didn't update it until 2023, almost 10 years.
Yeah, it probably depends upon a lot of factors. It takes resources to do that, and if they don't have a clear shot, it doesn't matter if they're going over the area anyways. If it's all cloud cover, they can't update the pictures. So they've got to have the resources allocated for it, taking pictures through the satellites, and got to have clear weather. So, I mean, any given time, like 1 year going through, there might be whole stretches that just don't get updated. Go ahead, Gus.
I went and where my dad's where my dad grew up in Somerville, Mass. I, know the address, and I had never been there before because they passed away before I was born, and my dad, all of that. So I went on Google Earth and looked up the address, and I was going down the street looking at the house, went to the next street over, and I'm looking at the house at my grandparent. I thought that was kind of cool. It changed drastically then, but
yeah. Now, were you going overhead or were you driving down the street?
I was driving down the street.
I love driving. You just keep going, boom, 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 and then turn it. You go, okay, I want to see, and you go, oh no, I'm not going down I'm not looking down the driveway right. So we go get back up a bunch and then just turn right again. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, it's can be a useful tool, but it can also be a dangerous tool. But yeah.
Yeah, well, people can drive it in any way, so.
Right.
Yep.
That's like I found. I mean, I know they have several of them, but I have one particular website that I go to, and it looks at all the plane traffic, and it tells, you can see the planes coming in from Europe, and then you zoom in and you see the thousands of them landing in Boston, and then you zoom over and you can see them landing at LaGuardia and all the other different airports. You watch all these. You zoom out and it looks like there's not a lot of planes, but you zoom in and it's like there's 50 million of them.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then you can go around the world, you can watch all that stuff, and it's, and then you click on the plane and it gives you a whole description of the plane.
Yeah.
It tells you their airspeed. It tells you what kind of plane it is, what kind of, what year it was manufactured, and everything about it. It tells you all the tail numbers. So it's kind of interesting sometimes when you go and you find this stuff.
Yeah, that used to be high-tech spy movie type stuff, and it's like, nowadays it's all that stuff's available to the general public.
Yeah, it's pretty neat though.
Yep.
It's like we see a plane that flies over, and I can quickly go on it, and I can tell you exactly what it was and what it,
Yep.
Oh, speaking of planes, we when we went to camp last week, we went up to watch, and all of a sudden we look up, and there's 4 warthogs doing runs down through the notch.
Oh, they must be having fun.
Oh yeah, that was so cool to watch.
Yeah, I love A-10s. Oh God.
Yeah, the night before we had 2 F-16s go right over us here.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they're not as fun. They fly faster. No. The A-10s are awesome. Oh.
Yeah.
Just turn and burn.
They when they call them the ugly plane, they sure and shit are.
Oh, they're so ugly, they're beautiful.
That's right.
They're so ugly, they're beautiful.
That's right.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool.
And they got that sound. It's basically it's pretty much it's a standard jet engine that you would find on airliners.
Yeah.
But it's ish. And they're just set up there on the top, so it has that sound, but there's 2 of them, and you can just it's just that sound. Oh, love them.
Yeah. They covered your ass when you were.
It's what you want. It's what you want.
Yeah. But that was pretty cool. That was to see them flying through, and it's like, whoa, look at that.
Oh, awesome.
So you figure they were flying probably close, not even 1,000 feet above us, maybe 700 feet above us. And so that's pretty close.
Yeah. And then flying down through the notch. They were probably having a ball.
Oh, I bet you
a ball. Yeah.
They were picking out certain cars going, I got it.
Al, he must have fallen asleep. He didn't answer my question about information.
Yeah.
We've got most people dropped off. We're only down to 2 viewers now.
Uh-oh.
Well, it was after 10. It's 10:06.
Yeah. Oh, it is after 10.
Yeah.
For you guys.
But yeah, oh man, I love A10s. They're a beautiful beast.
And I don't know if you've ever gone on, it's Route 6, is it 16? It's out of Whitefield, from Whitefield heading towards, oh God, why can't I think of the name? Littleton. And I think it's 16.
Is it 16? I thought 16 was on the east side, running up through.
Might not be 16. I can't remember what it is, but it runs right out of Whitefield, and it goes. It's the main route going over to Littleton, and right at the top of the hill up there, they have the VFW, and they've got they've got a tank sitting right there. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't ring a bell. Doesn't mean that I haven't been there. Is that north, south, east, or west?
It's Whitefield is about in the.
No, I'm talking about does the road go north, south, east, west?
East to west.
Okay, right. So if you went east, to take you right into Vermont. You go Littleton and then Lisbon and then Vermont.
Yeah.
That road.
It's not. That's not the road. That's
not the road.
Next one down. I would have to look on a map to tell you what.
But no, I didn't. I know they've got a tank. They've got an old tank down at Little Falls. It's just shy of Epsom.
Oh yeah.
Off to the right, down there. They got an old tank. It's a Sherman or something. It's probably not a Sherman. It's that class of tank.
This was a bigger tank. I was like, oh yeah, it's not a Sherman. It's bigger than the Sherman.
Was it NOM era?
I don't know enough about
M81s or some shit like that. I forget the nomenclature.
But it was big, and they got it painted green, of course, but
it's not an Abrams.
No. No, I know what an Abrams looks like.
It's not M89, M9. What's the?
I don't know.
We'll find out right here. M60. Fucking stupid M60.
I think that's what it'd be.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good sized tank, but it just
it's a full size battle tank.
Yeah, it just follows along with our conversations that we have about all this stuff that pops up around this, the state. With all, somebody said, "You can't own this, you can't own that."
Oh, you can own shit. Yes, you can.
Yeah.
And of course, they got like shit ton of 5 tons around the state.
Yep.
Those are pretty common, but that's a truck. It's not a tank.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, you can own it. You can own a tank. You can own a fighter aircraft. You can. Yeah. You can get them. I think Al fell asleep. Yeah. M60. Why was I thinking M91? I don't know. It's just tired. M60. Excuse me.
Well, it wasn't a Sherman because the Sherman's a fairly, I don't want to say small tank, but it was small compared to this one. I've seen Sherman. There's a up in. They have that museum, I think, in.
Yeah, Sherman's officially a medium battle tank. Where the M60
we've talked
is
about this place before. It's up on. I think that's on 16. If you really want to tell you the truth, because that's the north and south that goes from, goes up into Conway.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I think 16 runs up the east side of the lakes region. Not quite the lakes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. From
I do. That's why
from
I said
Rockford, or what the hell's the city there, on up to Conway and then north.
Yeah. Well, you know where I'm talking about. They have that museum up there with the several tanks that are up there and all full of war memorabilia.
Yeah, they got a little museum in Wolfboro too, don't they?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they have
I don't know.
Let's see what they got in Wolfboro. The Wright Museum of World War II.
In Wolfboro?
That's in Wolfboro. It's 77 Center Street. That's the. They got the gas. If you're coming from the south, and you're entering into Wolfboro, and it's just starting to go downhill from where the school is and stuff like that, it's the first major right before you get into the center of the town, and they've got the gas station on the right-hand side. It's the last major right-hand turn in Wolfboro before you get down to the harbor. Yeah, that's Center Street, and it's down there. It's like one or two turns down there, something like that.
I can't say that I remember that one.
Yeah, it's on your right-hand side when you're going down there. Haven't been there, but I've seen it. It's like, I should stop there sometime.
Well, that's like the other one that's up a little bit further. It's after the McDonald's. Remember we were talking about that pig place?
Mm-hmm.
It's beyond. It's beyond that.
North of, but you're talking north, yes.
Yeah. I think it's only like maybe not even 5 miles north of that.
Can you see it from the road?
Yes, you can. Because the tank is actually busting out of the side of the building, the way they got it set up.
Oh, that's odd, because I've just been through there.
That's why I was asking, because I knew that's where you just went up through.
Does not ring a bell. Now I'm gonna have to keep my eyes open for it. It's like, it's up here someplace.
It's up past. There's on the left-hand side. There's a big. I don't know if it's a Christian campground or whatever on the left-hand side, and then you keep going, and this museum is on the right-hand side, north. If you're headed north.
Yeah. Not ringing a bell, though. I'll have to look into it.
Yeah. If I think of it, I'll look it up.
Yeah, there's quite a few museums like that around, or single tanks. Tanks a lot.
But it's funny because we get talking about this stuff, just like it happened the last show when I was trying to think of that old guy with the
Zamfir.
Yeah. With the pan flute.
With the pan flute, it's like a weird instrument. And I was thinking, something really weird. It's like, no, that's just a pan flute. It's not that weird. But he didn't, because they've got him shorter, and his was quite long, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That's not what his pan flute had many sections to it.
Right.
Yeah, Zamfir.
But I couldn't think of his name, and it just bugged the piss out of me. And the next morning, it part of his name popped into my head, so I was able to look it up.
Yeah, well, you know me. We've closed more than one show like that. Going, shit, I should have, and it bothered me all night.
Yeah.
So it's good that you found. Yes, Gus sent me the next day. He said it was Zamfir and the pan flute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate it happens. I hate it.
Oh, and it's usually like stuff you should know. It's like,
I know.
Oh my God, I can't think of it. It's okay. It's late at night. We all get up relatively early, so.
I don't think that for me it has anything to do with whether it's late at night.
Gosh, I'm throwing you a bone here.
I admit it.
Sally's ribbing him. What was that, Sally?
She went in.
Oh, she went inside?
Yeah. Thought
I heard her saying something.
No.
It's like, Gus, he's helping you out here. No, take it and run.
Yeah.
It's because it's late.
Hey, I admit it.
Oh. No, it really bothers me. I hate it when I can't get a word. Because you know me, I'm very verbose. And I have quite the vocabulary. So when there's a word, it's like, what the hell is that word that I'm trying to think of? And it's usually something really stupid. You know, it's nothing that important. It's just a common word. It's like, I can't think of it. It's just, damn it.
Oh, yeah.
It's late. But, yeah, speaking of that, I think Al dropped off. It is now 10:17. It was a good show. More in the style of our old shows.
Yep.
A little bit of fire in the beginning, and then.
Yep. Yep, I was listening.
Yeah. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. Next show will be Thursday. As always, anyone who would like, if you enjoyed the show. And you enjoy my content and you would like to help keep it rolling, there are links in the description of the show. Some is monetary. Thank you very much. And there's a crap load of other stuff that you can do that doesn't cost a dime. So take a look at it. Much appreciated. I will be online again tomorrow putting out more content. As folks have probably noticed, hey, he's putting out more content. It's like, yes, I am ramping back up. I will be getting some longer articles out there. Still, the reach is being hammered, so I have to be somewhat limited because time is a resource, and if I spend a crap load of time and people aren't getting the content, I've wasted my time. Next show, Thursday. Hopefully Thursday I'll be out on the water as well, so it should be a low content day, but depends upon whether it's raining. Have no idea.
We're headed to camp on Thursday, so
yes, you're headed to camp. You're going to enjoy. You're going to be there till what, Tuesday?
Probably, yeah.
Oh fun. Yeah. Well, we know that if your signal is okay, you can join the show.
Yeah, but it's kind of iffy sometimes.
Yeah. Oh no, I get it.
At damn mountains.
Happens. But Judy says, thank you. Good night, y'all. Great show as always. You're welcome. Thank you for joining the show, Judy. Judy, Laurel, Al, whoever else was listening. Donna's still there. Are you still there, Donna?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. That's like Donna. Maybe she fell asleep.
No, well, I almost did. I was just...
We were boring her.
You were what, boring her?
Not really. No, huh?
She goes,
it's always interesting.
Had nothing to add. She's not a tank girl, I guess.
No.
A what girl? A tank girl.
No,
I'm not a tank girl.
Yeah.
Planes I could kind of get into. But
planes, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know shit about a tank.
Yeah, they're cool. I told people the missus wants a tank.
Yeah, it'd be kind of fun to drive one.
Yeah.
I've always liked equipment. That's what I did in the past. Drove equipment, so.
Yeah. But what was that, Gus?
I said it's fun to play with toys like that.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it is.
It is. And, oh, you shouldn't be able to own a tank, or you can't. You can't own a tank. You can too. We pulled it up one time. I think I pulled up two sites that sells tanks and showed you what you could buy out there, and for a lot less than what you'd think. Yeah. Some of the tanks go for less than a new, expensive car.
Yeah.
Generally, you're looking anywhere from $35,000 on up.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can get a tank.
Oh.
You want a tank.
Let me tell you,
I'd be a bitch parking it in my. I have no place to park it.
Hey, make a place.
Yeah, yeah.
Where do you park it? It's like where's a bear shit? Anywhere it wants to. Where she park her tank? Anywhere she wants to.
Yeah. Where do you park a tank?
I'll tell you, if I ever won the lottery, I would buy one and I would have it.
You'd have it. So now we know if Gus gets online, says he has a tank, there you go.
You better change your picture if you get a tank.
Yeah, you'd be the tank man.
Yeah.
But okay, yeah, I'm going to shut on down Thursday, same time, same place. I'll be shutting down here, then checking all the Facebook to make sure that everything's okay. I answer any questions and do any cleanup that I need to do. Normally it's not much of anything. And then I'm going to be heading off to Dreamland. Yeah. But thank you all for joining the show. Hope to see you all
thank
again.
You, and good night, everyone.
And
good night.
God bless and take care.